And how do we create a rotating field without the commutators?
I don't know.
In a university in Austria, an ambitious physics student is formulating an idea for a radical new way of generating electricity. A generator creates an electrical current that naturally reverses its flow periodically. In Tesla's time, electrical current is delivered by channeling that current in a single direction. It's called direct current. But Tesla envisions fully harnessing a generator's naturally alternating current. AC would be a stronger and more efficient way to deliver electrical power. But there's just one problem. It's never been done before. For years, Tesla has been trying to perfect his own invention, an alternating current motor. And now, he finally has a working prototype. Thomas Edison has begun the process of wiring the country and the world using a system called direct current. But he is about to cross paths with Nikola Tesla, a man who is convinced that he knows a better way to power the world. Instead of working for Edison, Tesla will work against him, determined to prove that he is right. The war for the future of power is about to begin. The most famous inventor in the world, Thomas Edison, is being challenged by an unknown genius, Nikola Tesla. But to break Edison's monopoly on electricity, Tesla must prove that alternating current can do more than just light the world. It can also power machines.
Hi everyone. So this video is all about one of the greatest war between Edison and Tesla of the 19th century, which was for the motors of AC or DC. It would decide the next century which motor would rule over the world and provide electricity to the world. This is the story that we must all know, but in school textbooks, these are not taught. So I have made a video for you. This is my first video, and definitely there will be mistakes, as it is humanly impossible to make a documentary all alone. But I have tried my level best to improve the quality and make it as interesting as possible. So what I want you guys to do is that stick out till I make 10 to 15 videos in the upcoming months. I'll definitely be improving production quality and my storytelling technique by that time. So stick out till then. If you directly want to know about the story, go to the timestamp which I have mentioned above, or just stick around to hear some of the most astonishing and weirdest facts about Tesla.
Hi everyone, this is Yash and welcome to my channel. Most of you probably know about Tesla, but many may wonder why there is so much hype about him. What contribution did he make to mankind that even after a century he is still remembered, and the world's biggest car brand is named after him? This man had a dream to provide free electricity to each and every corner of the earth, but capitalism failed him. In this video, we will discuss how corrupt people failed him and a few lesser known facts. And most importantly, what lessons we can learn from this legendary man that you can apply in your daily life. So do stick out till the end. Greatest achievements of Tesla include generating electricity from Niagara Falls, the invention of AC motor. But it wasn't just about the motor. He actually developed a network that could generate and transport electrons anywhere. He also invented robotics and remote control. Yeah, I was talking about this remote control. His audacity, saga, and inventions have inspired countless inventors, artists, entrepreneurs, from Elon Musk, who does not need any introduction in today's world, to Larry Page, the founder of Google. Tesla's system was the most audacious of all, virtually free, universal, wireless, and power. Tesla was always designing, redesigning, and dreaming with his unstoppable creative energy. Images of new inventions burst into his brain like fireworks. You have probably seen the Tesla Tower, but do you know what it actually is? It was an experimental wireless transmission station on Long Island, New York. based on his theories of using the earth to conduct signals. Now, let's begin with the early life of Tesla. According to a Serbian psychologist, Tesla fits the profile of OCPD, obsessive compulsive person disorder. Many call him mentally ill, but in reality, he was eccentric. People with OCPD are hostages to their own repetitive behavior. They can't function in the world as most do because they are shackled by their own repetitions of behavior. Tesla was a workaholic who drove himself to exhaustion, and he hung on to big ideas when others had abandoned him. He was tenaciously and obsessive. He was able to work insanely long hours with little or no sleep. So, do we also have to work like Tesla? The answer is absolutely no. Tesla put it as, to do our best work, we must exercise moderation and control our appetite and inclination in every direction so we can work for longer. Now, Tesla lost his brother Dane when he was 7 in a riding accident. He struggled to make up for the loss of his brilliant and beloved brother, who was to follow his father into the priesthood. This could be the reason of his obsession, as he himself recalls. The recollection of Dane attainments made every effort of mine seem dull in comparison. Anything that I did was credible merely caused my parents to feel their loss more likely. So I grew up with little confidence in myself. Do you know, guys, one more fascinating thing about Tesla is that he even came to a point where he thought one of the adopted pigeons was his wife, claiming that when she died, he lost his purpose of life. After her death, he knew his life's work was finished. Yeah, Tesla was unlike any other scientist of his time. He was tall and handsome, and women adored him. He was slim and striking, standing more than 6 feet tall. In fact, many of Tesla's investor daughters fell for him.
Yeah, boy.
From childhood, I was compelled to concentrate attention upon myself. This caused me much suffering, but to my present view, it was a blessing in disguise, for it has taught me to appreciate the inestimable value of introspection in the preservation of life as well as a means of achievement. As it turns out, Tesla had many unusual obsessions and a thirst for knowledge. However, he used these tendencies to become one of the most iconic scientists in the history. Each person's unique experience shaped their personality and offer a distinct perspective on the world. For Tesla, a turning point occurred after his talented brother's death. As the only son left, he felt driven to make up for his brother's absence by developing an unwavering work ethic and a desire for recognition. He became acutely aware of his own mortality and resolved to make a positive impact on the world before his time ran out. While work ethic is a vast topic that warrants its own video, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences and how they have shaped you as a person. Your qualities, personalities, habits, tendencies, and intellectual state are all influenced by your past and help pave the path for your future. The first lesson we can learn from this great man is being introspective. The second lesson is working in a flow state. There are two sides to an inventor, the wild side where imagination reigns and the intense side dominated by rigorous analysis. Tesla, like many inventors, leveraged both sides of his brain to make discoveries. He began by focusing his mind more squarely on engineering concepts and developed the ability to have an exceptional degree of control over these mental manifestations. However, the real breakthroughs came when he was in a relaxed flow state which allowed him to spin objects and schematics in his mind with remarkable clarity. Achieving a flow state is a unique experience for everyone. Some people may find that listening music puts them in the zone, while others may find that immersing themselves in art does the trick. There are also physical activities that can help people get into a flow state, such as yoga, martial arts, swimming. The infinite variety of human experience provides countless ways to experience flow. And the key is to do something actively and be thoroughly engaged in the moment. Tesla defines it as the ego falls away, time flies, every action, movement, and thought follows inevitably from the previous one. Like playing jazz, your whole being is involved and you're using your skill set to the utmost. Additionally, it's important to note that not everyone is able to achieve a flow state on their first try. It often takes practice and patience to get into the zone. However, the rewards are well worth the efforts, as being in a flow state can lead to a heightened creativity, increased productivity, and a sense of calm and well-being. Tesla versus Edison, also known as the War of AC and DC. While Edison did much to modern technology, no invention of his has an important place in modern society. His incandescent lamp is rapidly being replaced. There is nothing yet imagined that world will replace Tesla's AC motor, a key element of modern world. Robert Noble, prize winner in chemistry, said it. You see, Tesla had the idea of an AC motor, but he didn't have the resources to act upon it. Tesla got a referral work in Paris in the fall of 1882, which eventually helped him cross the Atlantic. The Continental Company, which Tesla joined, was Edison's European subsidiary. Charles was his man in Europe, under whom Tesla worked in those days. Edison machines were plagued with technical problems, often breaking down and catching fire. Charles liked what he saw in the young Serbian man who worked diligently to fix Edison's telephones with a better amplifiers. After a year, Charles suggested him to go to New York City as Edison was in need of an AC repairman. Tesla hoped to sell Edison on AC systems. Edison could not only give Tesla his blessings but also provide Tesla with something that wasn't readily available in Europe. That is, access to the infinite wealth of J.P. Morgan's cartel, the powerful Edison brand value. Tesla could now feel that his dream of an AC motor could become a reality. So he went on, being pickpocketed of his streamer ticket and most of his money. But despite this, Tesla somehow managed to arrive in New York with 4 cents in his pocket. How would Edison not only deliver power and efficiently wire entire cities, but also transport DC power over long distances? Tesla had the blueprints in his brain to answer that question when he walked into Edison's office and introduced himself. Edison needed a glorified repairman, somebody to fix the constantly short-circuiting dynamos. Well-heeled clients were getting angsty because of his DC system wasn't running as advertised, and if he couldn't keep the lights on, the money would dry up, which was a perennial problem since Edison's company was so poorly capitalized. One of the Tesla's first job for Edison was to power the lighting of the House of Oremo, one of the world's first to have its own electric lighting system. Seeing that how Tesla repairs his machines after several sleepless nights, Edison was shocked and impressed by the young Serbian. Tesla did what he could do best with Edison Archive steaming technology, designing 24 types of standard machines which replaced the old ones along the way. For nearly a year, my regular hours were from 10:30 am until 5 o'clock in the morning. The next morning, without a day's exception, these were Tesla's words. Can you imagine, guys, working 90 hours a day without exception for almost a year? This was Tesla's dedication towards his work. Seeing this as an incentive, Edison said he would pay Tesla $50,000 if he could overhaul Pearl Street so it would operate consistently without burning up. Working non-stop for nearly a year, Tesla developed and delivered and came to Edison to claim his bonus out of spite or perhaps thoroughly intimidated by Tesla as the elan and engineering prowess qualities that he himself did not possess. Edison barked in his flat Midwestern voice that he would not pay up much. Let's give Tesla a real raise or promotion, retorting, when you become a full-fledged American, you will appreciate an American joke. Edison reportedly offered Tesla model hourly rate increase, but his humiliation of Tesla dug far too deep. Insulted and enraged, Tesla resigned on the spot. To take his idea where they were appreciated, Tesla's fate turned around when he got to meet George Westinghouse, who was an engineer, executive, and inventor himself. Westinghouse was curious as to know whether Tesla had a better design, so he sent his top electrician Oliver to see a demonstration of Tesla's motor in his Liberty Street lamp. After a brief visit, Oliver was convinced Tesla had the technology everyone else desired, and it worked. So, after some negotiations between the Westinghouse camp and Peck and Brown, in the end, he secured one of the most potentially lucrative deals any investor had ever received. A royalty of $2.5 per horsepower for every AC motors, $50,000 in notes, $25,000 in cash, and guarantees that royalties would rise from $5,000 in the first year to $15,000 each succeeding year. The Westinghouse AC deal was the equivalent of buying all the plans to the personal computer, the mouse, the displays. Such an arrangement had the potential to make Tesla richer than Morgan, Carnegie, and Vanderbilt combined if a system was universally adapted and Westinghouse stayed solvent. But there was a slight catch, which Tesla didn't object at first. He had to join Westinghouse engineering team in Pittsburgh to get his design into production. Tesla had to be part of a team. While it may appear that Tesla's dream is coming true, everything is not as effortless and as imagined. Where Tesla was exhibiting stunts on exhibits, on the other hand, Edison was sure to show public that Tesla's AC system is quite dangerous and they should prefer DC motor over it. In the Battle of Currents, Tesla was the field marshal in what became known as Battle of Currents. Edison, through the Edison General Electric Company, was desperately trying to malign Westinghouse AC system, so he planned a massive propaganda campaign to show the world how where Tesla was exhibiting stunts in exhibits. On the other hand, Edison was sure to show public that Tesla's AC system is quite dangerous and they should prefer DC motor over it. Edison arranged a massive propaganda campaign to show the world how dangerous and evil AC was in comparison to the relatively safe DC current. Edison staged electrocutions of animals such as dogs and elephants with AC current, and he crossed the line when on August 6, 1890, William Kemmler, a person who murdered his girlfriend and stabbed her to death, was to given death sentence. So instead, Edison made him the first person to be executed in the electric chair. Edison had been so successful with his anti-AC campaign that his description of AC's electrocution horrors became a verb. Westinghouse. The grisly execution required several joules of current, which created a blue flame behind Kemmler's neck, set his clothes on fire, and created a burnt flesh stench. Kemmler did not die immediately. He had effectively been roasted. On the other hand, to exhibit stunt, Tesla stood nearly 7 feet tall in thick cork-soled shoes. Tesla walked into the Chicago's World Fair stage and stared at the audience with the deep mystery of a master illusionist. Then, when a switch was pulled off, Tesla's gaunt body became a lightning rod attracting some 250,000 volts. Sparks flew from the tips of his finger thanks to his insulating shoes. Tesla wasn't electrocuted, but the effect was beyond dramatic. It was an otherworldly demonstration of the power of electricity, and when combined with Tesla's spinning egg of Columbus, it made for a world-class spectacle that delighted fairgoers. The World's Fair was like a Kurukshetra for Edison and Westinghouse because it would decide who will win and who will lose. Edison, Westinghouse had bet the house on the fair and its massive national change to sell AC to a public that had little idea that you could even pipe power into factories or homes. General Electric heartbeat high on the contract to illuminate the fair, which was the largest venue to lit up by electric lighting at the time. Westinghouse whereas bid low to get the contract, but it came at such a huge cost that it put his company on the brink of bankruptcy at a time when the country was in a recession and all the companies in the electrical industry were fighting patent wars in the courts against each other. Of all the displays at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Tesla's was the one that was guaranteed to inflame the imagination of more than 27 million attendees. Yet, Tesla wasn't there as a circuit sideshow. He was a prime-time salesman for his polyphase system and the Westinghouse manufacturing empire that stood right behind him. Ultimately, the fair was the end game in the AC and DC war, and in the due time, Westinghouse was financially imperiled due to the shrinking capital and national economic crisis of 1890s. Competing against the General Electric conglomeration, Tesla's polyphase system was resting houses, only slingshot with one projectile remaining, and it was a massive one. Wiring the power plant of Niagara Falls, flush with the success of the affair, Westinghouse beat out General Electric for the contract to build the power station at Niagara Falls. At the helm of the project, which once had on its board Edison himself, was Tesla, the chief engineer in one office. In one of his many visions as a boy, Tesla had dreamed of tapping the power of the falls, where the waters of the Lake Erie plunge over the Niagara escarpment into the Niagara River and eventually Lake Ontario. Tesla quotes it as, "I told my uncle that I would go to America and carry out this scheme. 30 years later, I saw my ideas carried out at Niagara and marveled at the unfathomable mystery of the mind." On November 16, 1896, when the power was switched on, the kinetic energy of water turned Tesla's three 5,000 horsepower AC dynamos, powering Buffalo's electric street trolleys 26 miles away. H.G. Wells, who would base much of his great work on the grandiose mystery of such power, wrote in 1906 of Tesla's dynamos. They are will made visible thought translated into easy and commanding things. They are clean, noiseless, and starkly powerful. All the clatter and tumult of the early age of machinery is past and gone here. There is no smoke, no coal grit, no dirt at all. And people, this dates back to more than 150 years ago, where there were no electricity and most of the world did not know what happened on the other side of the world. One of the creative breakthrough happened after the post-Niagara years when Tesla demonstrated the remote use of power at Madison Square Garden. He sent a tub-shaped vessel with a tiny antenna monitoring around an artificial pond, and it heralded the birth of robotics and remote applications behind a toy boat, or something even more powerful, a radio transmitter that could work on many channels. Everything from TV remote controls to deadly military drones emerged from this entertaining simple demonstration, only if you call it. Resonance, a way in which nature vibrated, much like a tuning fork or a violin or piano string, was the key. Match that resonant frequency and you can send energy vast distances. Although this concept would have little commercial value at the time, while threatening entrenched interest, to the moneyed elite bankrolling General Electric, Westinghouse, Marconi, and other growing industrial combines, Tesla must have become a problem when he wrote in 1896, "The end has come to telegraph and telephone monopolies with a crash. Incidentally, all the other monopolies that depend on power of any kind will come to a sudden stop. The earth currents of electricity are to be harnessed. Nature supplies them free of charge." While Tesla could have created his own manufacturing empire, he seemed content experimenting in his lab through the end of the 19th century. Unfortunately, he frequently undersold his enterprise. He sold his Tesla Electric and manufacturing company to Westinghouse Electric for a measly $5,000 and 200 shares of Westinghouse in 1888. The down payment for the purchase was $950. Seriously? Tesla made a down payment of $950 for his company.
So finally Tesla wins the war, and today AC motor and AC current are used in almost 100% of the industrial or daily use. Although Tesla did not get as rich and famous as the other capitalists because he just wanted good for humanity and wasn't interested at all for the money. You know guys, there's still a theory that Tesla had blueprints of a device known as death ray, and that Tesla was murdered because he had the device, and that device could literally prevent the attacks from the enemies in World War II. To some FBI agents, the enemies got to know about it and Tesla was murdered. But this theory is for next video. Till then, just support me and thank you for watching till the end. Do like and comment about my mistakes on this video.